Hey there guys, welcome back to AFC Game by Game. These are my thoughts in the aftermath of Arsenal's 2-1 defeat at Vicarage Road to Watford on Saturday evening. Now, it's Monday evening, so I've had quite a bit of time to let that result sink in. I've seen quite a few reports from various people talking about the game, but at the end of the day, we all know where we stand. It's the same old of Arsenal. I'm not too sure how I'm going to structure this video in a way. Just going to hopefully let it roll off the tongue and it will come out of my mouth in some way, shape or form. Hopefully words that will make sense to you. But I don't know where to start with this one because I feel like a broken record talking about it. I'm sick to death of talking about the same repetitive problems that have been going on at Arsenal Football Club for so long now. And it is simple things, simple mistakes we're making time and time again. Now, first of all, let's not completely blow everything out of proportion because we were unfortunate in this game at times. I mean, it was definitely not a penalty. Richarlison has dived. It's a blatant dive, but because of the speed of it, the referee's called it, giving it Watford's way. Again, a great case for video refereeing to be brought into the game. Whether it will be or not remains to be seen, but things like that really do cheese me off. And when you look at reports today saying that the FA won't be taking any further action against him, I mean, that's just ludicrous. Looking at it back, it's a blatant dive, and we've been unfortunate in that instance. And it's a moment in the game that has changed the whole dynamic of it. So I think we're unfortunate there. Unfortunate with the second goal as well, with Troy Deeney arguably being a fraction offside. That's something to debate. For me, when Watford scored that penalty, when Troy Deeney put it in the back of the net with such conviction, the game was only going to go one way from that point because we went into our shell massively. We did what Arsenal do and we cowered and we let Watford take control of the game. We weren't the Arsenal team that we'd have seen before. We're talking a long time ago where we'd have taken the game by the scruff of the neck. We'd have gotten up, shook it off and gone again. There were 20 odd minutes left in that game for us to go out there and win it. Plenty of time. And when we've got players like Jack Wilshere, Olivier Giroud at our disposal, we should have been going out there to win that game. But unfortunately we weren't able to do that, and we've just let Watford, let's remember, it's not Bayern Munich, it's not Chelsea, it's not PSG, it's not whoever, it's Watford. All due respect to them because they were in that second half far superior to us. They've run us over and deservedly in the end, you've got to say, got their win. Now, I mean, let's not take anything away from Watford. They did play exceptionally well in that second half, definitely worthy of the win in the end, I suppose. Actually saying that, I mean, that's one to debate, but I won't get into that. It's more Arsenal's shortcomings that have cost us in this game, and that's been the way for far too long now. That first half, we definitely didn't deserve to go in at one. Very fortunate circumstances for us. Very well worked set piece. Granit Xhaka pinpoints the delivery onto the head of Per Mertesacker to make it 1-0, and it goes into the back of the net. And I mean, it was looking a little bit rosy there. So, I mean, to go away from home, not play particularly well, but still get a win is the old cliche that we say season after season after season. And if we'd have come away from this game with a 1-0 win courtesy of a Per Mertesacker header, wouldn't have had a problem with that. I mean, the defence was rather sturdy. We had a back three of Laurent Koscielny, Mertesacker and Nacho Monreal. They seemed to perform admirably throughout that first half. Watford offered very little, but when it was backs to the wall, then that's when things really turned against us and we looked at like the frail team that I think I hate to say, but I think we are a very weak team. You've got players looking around, spineless players that don't know who to look to, don't know where the leadership is coming from. It's the first time that our captain has started a game in God knows how long, and he comes out after the match saying that Watford wanted it more. And I've got so much time, so much respect for Per Mertesacker, but let's not forget Theo Walcott made the exact same comments after that humiliating humbling at Crystal Palace last season when we lost 3-0. If Per Mertesacker is going to come out and say the same, then it just shows that this Arsenal team hasn't progressed in any way, shape or form, and it's seriously worrying for me that a 33-year-old German World Cup winner of the captain of Arsenal Football Club is coming out and saying that Watford Football Club wanted to win a game of football, a Premier League match, more than Arsenal did, because that just shows that, I mean, where do we stand? What are we meant to think as fans about that? Why would we even bother going to the games if Watford want to win games more than us? Bewildering, and I don't know where to start with that one, but I mean, I'm sure Per Mertesacker can somewhat rationalise that in his next interview, but silly thing to say from our club captain. I don't know where to start on that one. But it's the same problems that we've had for a long time now, and I think I mean, Arsene Wenger is definitely to blame, but the players as well. I mean, lots of players that just shy away in games like this. I mean, I'm not going to name any names. I don't want to pick players out, but I think for me, decisions that come from the manager that we've seen that have bewildered us time and time again, leaving Aaron Ramsey out. Why? Leaving Alexis Sanchez out. Why? Those are two players that weren't injured. You know, they've just been rested from the team because of international duty. And yes, fair play. They've had very, very pressing international breaks. But you look at Burnley and they had half the Ireland team pretty much playing on the international break. And they're straight back into the Burnley lineup. Granted, they didn't win their game. But at least we could have had Alexis Sanchez on the bench. You look at Coutinho starting for Liverpool. Still an absolutely blinding game. If we at least had Alexis Sanchez on the bench. And I'm firmly in the camp this season that we've actually played better football without Alexis Sanchez, but a play like that can change a game so quickly, and if we aren't even going to put him on the bench, then that's just, it's weird. And again, as I say, we didn't play particularly well, but we should have still won this game, and not playing well, we could have won it 2 or 3-0. Alex Iwobi had a brilliant chance. I think he's being unnecessarily scapegoated in this game. Granted, he did make a few mishaps, but he certainly wasn't our worst player on the pitch, arguably possibly our best player, which doesn't say much, but he was one of the standout players for Arsenal. But he had a great chance to make it 2-0. Mesut Ozil, that chance is going to really rue the day because he should have made it 2-0. You know, a world-class player of Mesut Ozil's ability. I expect him to put that in the back of the net. Very poor finish from him. Good save by Gomez, granted, but it was a finish that lacks conviction. It was as lacklustre as Arsenal's performance, and it kind of sums up what kind of club we are at this moment in time. We are feeble, and that was a feeble finish from Mesut Ozil, and it's cost us the game because they've gone right up the other end, won the penalty, and the game has changed completely. If we make it 2-0, then we've killed the game and we've won away from home, not playing particularly well, and we're not having the conversation that we currently are. It would have been a totally different story. But I mean, I don't know where to go from this one. This was a very winnable fixture for us. Manchester City have gone there and they've won 6-0. Don't be fooled. We should have gone there and we should have won this game about 2 or 3-0. With all respect to Watford, I've said it time and time again. Very, very good team. They're 4th in the league for a reason. They've been playing very well this season under Silva, but we should have been there, and Arsenal Football Club should be going away to Vicarage Road and getting 3 points against Watford. It's not a lot to ask for an Arsenal fan, but maybe the league is becoming a lot more competitive and I should be becoming more accustomed to these sort of results, but it's not the Arsenal Football Club that I want to see, but I feel like I'm going to have to start becoming a lot more acquainted with these kind of performances away from home, which I shouldn't. It's worrying. We've got our next game on Thursday night against Red Star Belgrade, a great chance for us to put things right, I suppose. I want to see a more convincing Arsenal performance, that goes without saying. Jack Wilshere, I mean, agonising seeing him get up off the bench and then be put back on it for the last 10 minutes against Watford. I'd have loved to have seen him get some minutes, but hopefully he'll get 90 minutes under his belt on Thursday night. El Neni in midfield, I mean, I feel like this guy's got a lot of criticism in the past couple of days because of what he doesn't offer to Arsenal's midfield, and he doesn't offer a lot, let's have it right. He does not do a lot for Arsenal in the middle of the park. He's a very basic player. He's a player that I think is perfectly fine for an FA Cup match at home to whoever, Brighton or whoever we're going to draw in the FA Cup come the new year. I think he's perfect for those kind of games, and I think he's fine for the occasional Premier League match at home. But away from home, at Watford, a team that have been doing very well this season, El Neni is not good enough to be starting those kind of games. He lacks creativity, he lacks drive going forwards. He's a £5 million player. That's exactly what we've got, and I think he's a fine player. I think he's a perfectly respectable footballer, but it's just not what Arsenal Football Club need. We need players at levels above. If you look at the players that we had in reserve during the 2004-05 season, during the 2003-04 season, all from when Arsene Wenger first joined the club to about 2006, we had an abundance of talented players in backup. We had players like Kanu that could have come off the bench and changed a game. Now I look at our bench and I struggle to see that. I really struggle to see players that can change a game so quickly. I mean, you would look to someone like Mesut Ozil to do that, but he had a chance to change the game and he failed to take it. And it worries me about Arsenal. It is a mentality thing massively. And I think that stems down from the board to the manager, and now it's installed in the players. I definitely think another manager could get something out of this team because I don't see players being utilised correctly. I don't see the right team lineups. I see drastically bewildering decisions being made week upon week, and we've got some very tough games coming up. I mean, we've got Everton away. Very tricky fixture for us. That we don't particularly do well away from home at Goodison Park, and then let's not forget Tottenham and Man City. I mean, we could be finding ourselves in a really tricky position in a couple of weeks' time. I mean, it's not looking good for us. This was a game that we had to win following, even following that 4-0 defeat to Liverpool. You got to put things right by beating Watford away from home. And when you look ahead to games like Tottenham and Man City in a row, I mean, we could find ourselves in in deep mud. I suppose it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out, but it's not a couple of weeks that I'm looking forward to too much. I mean, we're all crying for the international break to end, but now I'm kind of wishing it was back. But all we could do is put this right. We've got 2 more years of this under Arsene Wenger, and there's no point moaning about it. I think the majority of us know that the best thing for Arsenal Football Club would have been if he'd have gone after that FA Cup win, but that hasn't been the case. But we've got to kind of stick with it, and I hope Arsene Wenger has the knowledge to put it right. But selections such as the one on Saturday show that it's back to the same old, which really does worry me. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Please do drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to AFC Game by Game. Let's hope we beat Red Star Belgrade on Thursday for all our sanity's sake, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.